Hi there, I'm Audrey Adams and this is Talk with Audrey. There are real-life cases of people who found out the hard way that what you say and post on Facebook or Twitter can be used against you. Attorney Gloria Allred joins me to discuss the risk of certain online behaviors, your rights and legal recourse, as well as ways to protect yourself and your family online. Well, you know, there's no doubt that social networking sites are changing the nature of relationships and business associations. What are some of the horror stories that you've heard?
There are many horror stories, Audrey. One of them, for example, involves a woman who was a homemaker and married and living in Long Island, and she just had it one day, arguments with husband, arguments with her 3 young kids, sick dog, and she posted online, "I wish I were dead." Next thing, she ends up in the psych ward. She ends up having to prove to her children that she is not a danger to herself, and now she's considering divorce. That is a complete horror story. Then there's the waitress who posted on her Facebook negative comments about some of the customers of the restaurant. She was terminated because the employer felt that it cast the employer in a very negative light. And she found out that, in fact, the employer had a right to fire her. Then, of course, we know the famous issue involving the former college student of Duke University who posted some of her sexcapades online just to a few friends. It went viral. It went into the blogosphere. And now that is a social networking cautionary tale that is being told and retold throughout the world. So bottom line is you have to be very careful when you're online and what you decide you're going to post online.
Well, how much is too much when it comes to the personal information that you provide?
It's too much if it could get you in trouble. Now, for example, something innocent, such as was done by someone who had a Twitter account, and he was using it for business, but then happened to post when he decided to take a vacation. Well, a lot of people noticed that he was taking a vacation, and someone decided to burglarize his house at that time. So you do have to be very careful because you don't know who's watching when you're online, and it can lead to the commission of a crime against you, even though that's not what you intended.
Well, I also understand that government agencies and places of employment are using these sites to catch you doing something. Is there any way that we can protect ourselves?
You have to be really careful as an employee and as an employer about what goes on online. So, for example, there are some supervisors, some managers, and some places of employment that use Facebook and other social networking sites to actually sexually harass some of their employees. And when it comes down to a lawsuit, it may be that what is sent in an email or what is posted on Facebook or other sites can in fact be subpoenaed and used against the manager or supervisor to prove sexual harassment of an employee. An employee would have the right to obtain that information. So I think people have to be very careful about what they text, what they put online, and what they tweet, because you can end up in a lawsuit in some very embarrassing situations that can cost you a lot of money.
Well, in terms of Americans' attitudes and behaviors about sharing personal information, is that still changing and evolving, or are we all just accepting the fact that it's all out there?
Well, I think many people are posting more and more personal information online, not thinking about the dangers, Audrey. And one of the dangers, for example, is that you can be fired from your job for what you have posted. Lawyers.com just did a survey and found that 40% of people surveyed felt that they could be fired from their job for what they posted online. 53%, according to the same survey, felt that they shouldn't be able to be fired for it. But the truth is that generally employers can terminate an employee for, let's say, negative comments about a customer or about a competitor or about the employer, because most employees are what we call at-will employees. That is, they can be fired for any reason except not a discriminatory one, not one that violates public policy. But if they don't have a contract, yes, they can be fired for what they post online. And even if they do have a contract, they may still be fired if they have a non-disparagement clause. So for more information, people can go to lawyers.com. They can find an attorney there in their own state. If they get in trouble, they can find more information about specific legal issues and free legal documents.
Thanks, Gloria.
Thank you, Audrey.
My guest has been attorney Gloria Allred, and the bottom line is to protect yourself and your family by being careful about what and where you post personal information or thoughts. They may just be best kept to yourself. Why? Because sharing isn't always good. I'd like to invite you to follow Talk with Audrey on Twitter and on Facebook. Simply visit talkwithaudrey.com, where you can also sign up for my free weekly newsletter for access to exclusive web content and information about upcoming shows.